Yesterday was interesting. I was painting one side of the kitchen. There's not a whole lot of wall space there, but I wanted to get it painted. I'm so happy I did it. It's so bright and cheerful. Effort to get the corner cabinet above the corner cabinet. I couldn't reach it. And because it's a corner, and the counter is a corner. There's no room to stand on it, so I was a little scared, and there was nowhere to put the ladder. I have a painting ladders for painting and wallpaper, and it has big steps, and I feel safe on it. But because of the way it's made, it's really hard to get in a corner. So I was really afraid to do that. So what I did is I made an extension for the brush. When you can't reach something, improvise. It worked. I still have another coat to do, but it worked perfectly. And it worked great. So I made a short for it. And maybe I'll add it here because I posted it to my other account. So maybe I'll just add it to the end of this video so you can see it. It was kind of cool to do it that way. So now I know I can definitely do that. The only problem is my carpal tunnel's acting up today, so I gotta lay low for a little bit. But you know, things happen for a reason, for sure. Had I not decided to paint, I wouldn't have known this was going on, what I'm about to tell you. I opened there's I call it a water closet. What it is just for the water heater. That's all that's in there. And I didn't like, it had a darker paint and then the white doors. I just didn't like it. And so I decided I was going to paint the door the same color as the wall because it would blend in more and not be so in your face, right? So I open up the door to the water closet and I look in and I'm like, whoa, this is not good. The boot that goes up on the ceiling was on the water heater. And the pipe that comes down from the roof was here, but the water heater was here. The part that's supposed to be over it. So what that means is when they put the roof on last year at this time, they didn't put it in the same place. I know they had to change uh, some of the roof panels, Um, so they didn't put it in the exact same place. And so for a year, carbon monoxide has been leaking out into the house. Well, that explains that dull headache I've had for so long. I just could not get rid of it. And I was so tired all the time. And I get up real early in the morning because Bella wakes me up, so I don't know what that's about, but she wakes me up. And other things wake me up too, but I kind of wonder, if it's just a small amount that's getting in the house. I don't know. But when I woke up this morning, I didn't have that dull headache. And by 7 last night, that dullness was almost gone. So there must have been something in the house. You can't smell it or taste it, so how would you even know? And I have a CO2 monitor, alarm, whatever you want to call it. And I had it right next to the register, which is in close proximity to the water closet, because that's where they told me to put it. And that way, if there was any CO2 leakage that from the furnace or the water closet, then the alarm would go off, you know, 'cause it's loud. So I thought, well, maybe the batteries are dead. I took the batteries out. I put new batteries in. Nothing. I press the button and it'll work, so that means the batteries are good, but no light. It's supposed to have a light to tell you that it's working. I didn't notice that it wasn't working. I just didn't. I don't go down the hallway that often. I just like once a week I do laundry. That's pretty much the only reason I go in there. So things happen for a reason. I really believe that. So I call a plumber, the one that actually came and redid the new toilet I had installed by someone else. They had to replace it because it was something wrong with it. And the guy that installed it didn't stand behind it, so I had no choice. It was either hire that guy again or hire someone else that I could trust, and I did. And I'm glad because they have been really good. So beyond that, they came out and they checked it and whoa, this is not good. This is bad. I said, yeah, I know it's bad. That's why I called you and I knew I had to do something with it. I said, I was going to just pick it up. I thought it just fell. I said, but then I realized it was out of place. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. Well, he got it connected. See, I was afraid to do any juggling or anything with it because I didn't want to break anything or have it come loose and then it'd be a bigger problem, you know. So then he says, well, this is the wrong flue pipe for this. You can't use these in a either a mobile or manufactured home. It's whatever, you know. Said you can't use these here. It's against code for these places. And if it's in a closet, it has to have this. And I said, oh. I said, well, I didn't know. And he said, well, why would you know? You wouldn't know. He said, but whoever put this in should have known. Well, I had a handyman put it in when I moved in. I mean, everybody here uses handymen. So you use whoever everybody uses when you first move somewhere. I didn't know anybody here. And I never heard of this company until I needed them this past year. So anyway, he's telling me, he says, now you have to have a special flue pipe for this. And I have to do some research because whatever I get for you to put in here, I have to make sure that it is up to code, because codes are changed all the time and we don't do this, on a daily basis. And I said, okay. And I didn't know this, but a lot of people will not, big companies will not work on these houses. They won't work on them. But there are some that will, and this company does, and they do a good job, and I'm happy. So anyway, we got to talking about it, and he said, you're really lucky. He said, this could have been bad. And I said, well, I've had this dull headache for a long time. I get up in the morning and I get, I have energy and I'm, doing okay. And then bam, I'm just exhausted and I got this dull headache I can't get rid of. And he says, well, I think we're going to just shut this off and you're just going to have to wait until I get it. And he said, it'll be a couple of days by the time I get the part for you because it has to be specific. And I said, that's fine. I can do without hot water for a couple days. That's not a big deal. So we got to talking about the on-demand water. What do they call that? I forget. But anyway, the hot water thing on demand. And he says, yeah, he said they put one in his house and he said he loves it. And I said, well, can they put one in this house? And he said, oh yeah, they work in these homes. Because I did read up on them on the internet and some states don't allow it, but I guess Indiana does. And I said, well, I'm going to consider that because he told me about what it might be. And I said, well, I'm going to consider that because the water heater, when I had it installed, is only guaranteed for 6 years. Now, in today's world, 6 year warranty might mean 6 or 7 years that it has a life. I don't know. I don't use that much hot water, so maybe it will last longer. I really don't know. Or maybe it won't last long enough because I don't use enough water because of all the sediment and, stuff like that. I don't really know. But I said, if I decide to stay here, then I will have that done. And then that frees up a whole lot of space in that closet because it's a pretty good sized closet, fits a water heater. And then I thought, well, maybe then I could also have a water filter put in, you know. So yeah, it would definitely be something that is a possibility. Who knows? But if I don't stay here, then I'll consider it for another place, that's for sure. But anyway, I just feel like, everything happens for a reason. You're guided to do things, and then all of a sudden, here's a problem. But it wasn't just one problem, it was two problems. If I hadn't seen that there was something wrong with the flue pipe, then I wouldn't have known that the flue pipe was a bad thing to have because it wasn't set up for this location. And it's not safe. Not just for carbon monoxide, but because it's not safe to be enclosed in that closet. So isn't that interesting? So I was a little, I don't want to say mad. I wasn't really mad yesterday. I was a little disappointed because I contacted the company that did the roof. Now they've been in business for 56 years and have a great reputation. Never got a response. Nothing. Got nothing from them. I mean, I have a 10-year warranty. Come on. Well, I started doing some research and I found out that they sold the company to someone else, someone else owns it. They fired all of the employees that this company had. So my contact information that I have is null and void. And does that mean my warranty is also void? So I had left them a glowing review on Google last year. And so I left them one that was no longer glowing. And I thought, well, maybe they'll reach out. Maybe they'll want to help, at least help with something. Even if they just pay for the service call, that'd be all right. But the thing is, because of that, I could have died. I could have died. And then there are long-term repercussions from it, heart problems and all kinds of things. So I think they owe me something. So I'm not happy about that. I was pretty upset, thinking about it, how bad that was. But, I put that review up and I thought, well, other people will think about that before they hire them. And yes, they're on the Better Business Bureau, but I've dealt with that before. And they have to pay to be on there. And then they have to fix whatever it is within 30 days and all that stuff. It's not really not really the greatest. I'm not impressed with it. I mean, it is a way to go and see if there have been a lot of issues, but as long as they fix them, they still keep their A or A plus rating. So what, is it really that great? And don't even go there with Angie's List because they will never leave you alone. I tried it. Oh my God, that was a pain in my royal behind. I know they do good, but I sure didn't appreciate continual emails and texts every day. Every day. Drove me crazy. So no, I won't do that. And then there's another one, what is it, Service Pro or something? They're another one that drives you crazy. They will never leave you alone once you sign up on their website. So no, I'm not doing that. But I have to say, I don't have, I still have my neck pain, but that's from something else. But I don't have that really dull ache in my head, that dull headache that I just couldn't get rid of. It has eased up quite a bit. So I am happy that I found it, that it's going to get repaired. Everything's going to be great. And then spring will be here. I can be outside and count my lucky stars that Bella and I are okay. That this was caught before anything bad really happened. So even though it was another challenge, another thing that just irks you to no end, it was still a blessing. And I just have to feel grateful that I have another day, that this didn't turn out badly for us. So anyway, I ordered some curtains for my kitchen. They're just some lacy ones. I had black lace curtains up there to begin with, and that's for fall. And, I like to decorate for Halloween. So, and I can't find the ones I usually put up in the spring. They're so pretty. They're sheer, but they have like embroidered flowers on it and sequins. Really pretty. And I don't know what I did with them. I put them away. I hid them. So anyway, I ordered these other lacy ones. They're different. So I'm hoping that they get here early so I can put them up, and I think it's going to be cute. They're very, very lacy and feminine looking. And that's okay because only two girls live in here. So, but anyway, yeah, it's just fun to make little changes. It was very inexpensive. And I'm really happy that they're coming because then I can finish the kitchen and make it look cute. I need to hire somebody to get up on the cabinets and clean up there. I just can't do it. I can't stand on the counter and hold on and scrub. Just can't do it. Um, and especially now, carpal tunnel says, no, 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 no more, no more, can't do it. But it'll go away in a few days if I take care of it. So anyway, well, thanks for watching and listening, and hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.